Almost 25 years ago, I was enlightened by the Blessed Mother with 4 other women to start an organization, Women Against the Killing and Exploitation of Unprotected Persons. That has started me on a journey that has brought me here today. What we see here behind us, these 5 children, are crimes against humanity. And although we are not able to speak the truth in court, we've been muzzled, I'm here to tell you as much of this story as I can. The ending is not now, but it is near. On November 28th, 2019, I got a call from a pro-lifer that had been listening to a ham radio in the middle of the night. She asked me if I had heard about the recovery of a baby in a toilet in a restroom in Ruby Tuesdays in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I had not heard about it. It wasn't, obviously, I don't watch TV. It wasn't on TV, but I did go to my computer, and yes, there was footage of first responders going to the Ruby Tuesdays to recover this beautiful little baby that had been left in a toilet. Now, the connection is that Caesar San Angelo, is the one that murdered this little child. I didn't know that at the time. I spoke to the medical examiner. He was very rude. I asked him if I could make a Good Samaritan offer to retrieve baby Doe, at that time was her name, and he cut me off. But he did say to get in touch with the detective who had been given the case. So I called, and finally I was able to get in touch with him, and he was a wonderful man, very sympathetic, and told me that he had seen the baby, that she looked full term, that she had a full head of hair and nails, and he was very emotional in telling me this. And I said, well, I have never heard of an abortuary in Upper Marlboro. And he said, oh, no. The abortion was done in Washington. And I said, oh, Caesar San Angelo. And he said, yes, how do you know? And I said, well, it is my business. So with that, I went on the journey to retrieve her bodily remains. I named her Philomena because of my devotion to Saint Philomena, who was a martyr and saint and had died at 13. And I gave her the name Grace because I had been one of the many wonderful whistleblowers had told me about San Angelo being so, his evil was so heinous that he was not accepted membership in the National Abortion Federation. So with that, I went about getting the remains of her body. I signed legal papers because no morticians wanted to take the legal step to attain her remains. So I signed papers that I was the legal claimant. We got the message on 3 o'clock on the day of the March for Life at 3 o'clock, which to me, the Divine Mercy hour, was a big sign. And we ultimately had a beautiful funeral by Bishop Coffey and Father Meeks, and also Father Bill Chikinski, who are very, very pro-life. And outside of Christ the King Church in Towson is a tiny little garden of the Innocents, and she was buried there. So I'm here to tell you today that this, I believe, has all been revealed by God to all of us. Of course, our illustrious leader, who we love and admire, Joan Andrews, knew that these babies, through actually live action and their 2013 undercover video that St. Angelo was doing live births and allowing these children to die. So I have a desire for everyone to, like Jonathan said, get involved. I believe that he is correct, that if there are enough people who are rescuing, this is going to bring people's attention to the atrocity. I believe in the future we will have a class action suit, crimes against humanity, for those that mourn. There will be an outcry across the country, the realization of what we have done. And many of us believe that this is called the illumination of conscience. But ultimately there will be a mourning, and we call from the Beatitudes, blessed are those that mourn, for they shall be comforted. So I want to thank all of you that have the courage that even I don't have to face 11 years in jail. It's such an admirable thing. I admire all of you, and I thank everyone who's turned out today. And keep in mind that God revealed St. Philomena, Grace, martyr, and saint, early in 2019, before this even happened. So we all know what is still happening in Caesar St. Angelo's office. So God bless all of you. I thank you for being here.
My name is Dana DiMattia. I am an activist in the DC area. I want to thank everyone that came here before and said very powerful, strong statements and truthful ones. I know I'm standing before many greats like Joan, and standing in front of the future generation of rescue. What I can add to this today is that our movement forward to save the lives of babies, to end abortion, doesn't come by finger pointing, doesn't come by blaming other groups that they've ruined the pro-life movement and the establishment. What happens is that it just causes more inaction. And our point here today is that we only will overcome abortion and end this by action, by unity, by knowing that we have to delegitimize abortion clinics by crossing property lines, that we have to engage in nonviolent civil disobedience. Now, we know that there's limitations with where you are in your life, but what we ask of you is to not blame and not shame those that laid down the lives for others because you couldn't. We ask that you pray. We ask that you support them in jail. We ask that you support this movement, because doing these acts are what bring to light the atrocities of abortionists like Caesar Santangelo. These truths have only come out because of rescue, because of people that decided to step and walk through the gates of hell. And if we're going to do that, we have to do that together and in love and in grace and in unity. So please, pray for those that are facing jail. Pray for them that are in jail. Know that it's not about numbers. It's about love, and it's about sacrificial love. And those that are facing jail time did that. They did that for us, just like Jesus sacrificed and loved for us. Please remember, rescue is the way, and we have to unite on that in all fronts if possible. Thank you so much.